The question is the perimeter of a triangle is 76 feet. The length of the rectangle is 2 feet less than 4 times. 2 feet less than 4 times the width. What is the width of the rectangle feet? An estimate way, what we have to do, better to plug the value of, we should make the graph here. When we make a graph, like we can be plugged like a 7 by 7 here, and when we do 4 times multiply 7 दूनी 14, 7 की 7 चौक 28, 28, and minus 2, 2 feet less than, so we should put less 2 minus, and it's become 26, 26 here, 26 here. Then we should add up 26, 26 plus and plus 8 is not going to be 76 when we go to the 8 rectangle like that. 8 plus 8 14, and 8 4 times 8 दूनी 16, 8 ती 24, 8 चौक 32, and multiply by 8 in a 4 and plus minus 2 less than. That's chances to go to the 76.
The perimeter of a rectangle is 76 feet. The length of the rectangle is 2 feet less than 4 times the width. What is the width of the rectangle in feet?
This is so frustrating. Like, it's just, like, I hear a question like this, or I read a question like this, and it just goes right over my head, right? It's like, what does that even begin to mean? You know, what do you do, right? It's like, it's a tough question. But I love it. You're underlining what we're solving for. I love it. What are we solving for here, Bailey? What are we solving for?
The width of the rectangle in feet.
The width of the rectangle in feet. Absolutely. The width of the rectangle in feet. Okay. And the width values. It's going to be 4 times the width minus 2. That's going to be a lot bigger than the width. Does that make some sense?
Okay. Yeah, it's just the wording really.
It's the wording, right? And this is like so much of this test, right? It's like it's a language test. It's like, I mean, it's like you might have all the math operations down, but if you don't understand what the question's saying, you don't understand what the terms mean, it's like, good luck, not happening, you know. But does that make sense now why we know the length is actually longer, like significantly longer than the width? Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay, good. So like if we're drawing this rectangle, that's what I recommend doing. Good, you know, we've talked about this before in the other questions. If they give you a geometry question, you better draw a picture. You know, like you just got to think about it the right way first. So I'm going to draw a little rectangle here. And I get width and length kind of mixed up sometimes. I'm going to make the width the wider, or the part going side to side. Okay.
Yeah.
And the length is going to be like this guy going up and down here. It really doesn't matter. You could draw it the other way around, like oriented landscape orientation as opposed to portrait orientation like we have here, but it doesn't matter. It's still going to work. So, okay, your best bet here on this question, you could set up an equation, but it's really annoying. I think we're going to be doing like x squared, and you're going to have to do some factoring, and it's a big pain in the butt. A much easier path on this question is to test the answer choices. Test the answer choices.
Okay.
Like, let's assume that the width is 7. 2 feet less than 4 times the width. And it's still tough to kind of wrap your head around, but that's what it means. You got to understand that. So really take your time digesting the language in the question. It's always a good investment of time to read it carefully. You got to understand. Don't just do a math thing with the numbers, right? Like just really understand what it means, and start by drawing a picture to help you wrap your head around it. Okay. So do we know? How do we determine if this is the right answer or not? Because
we plug in 76 for the answer of the perimeter, and then we basically just see if all of this adds up to 76.
Let's add up all the sides, right? Because we know the right answer got to give us a perimeter of 76. Let's add up these sides and see if we get a perimeter of 76. So it's just 26 plus 26 plus 7 plus 7. Let's do it.
And is it fine to write out, like, what I do is I do like 7 times 2 plus like 26.
It's the same thing. Yeah, 7 times 2 plus 26 times 2 is the same as 7 plus 7 plus 26 plus 26. That's fine.
Yes. Okay.
So what'd you get the perimeter. Adding all
Hold on, my calculator is being really finicky.
That's right.
All right, should be 66.
That gives us 66. And again, we got that from adding up the lengths and the widths, right? The perimeter is all the way around. You add this up, you
7
get
plus
66.
7.
So it can't be answer choice A,
14.
because the right answer's
So
got to give us
becomes
76.
66.
Does that make some sense?
Yes, that does.
Okay, good. So answer choice A is gone. Let's plug in for answer choice B. So now we're going to make the width 8. What's the new length going up and down? How do we calculate that?
It's 8 times 4,
8 times
which
4.
is 32.
Yep, and we got
And then
Subtracting
2 is 30.
32.
yeah. So
And
the length
minus
is 30
minus 2.
on both
Right,
sides.
2 is here. Need
And then to
be
test that, right, we just add up all the sides. What does that give us?
30 plus 30 is 60. 60.
76.
76. That's looking pretty good.
Yes.
That's looking pretty good.
Yes.
In fact, like here, we could actually probably stop. You know, I mean, I was just like preaching, like, hey, test all the answer choices, right? That's if you're like creating your own values, right? But like
Yeah.
here, we're just plugging in the values they give us, and if one of them works, then we're good. I mean, like, look at C, right? C is 29, right? Is there any way where you're like, is that going to give us a perimeter?
They're too big.
It's going to be
like,
way too big, right? So we're going to multiply that number by 4 and take away 2. It's going to be huge for the length.
Yeah.
Same thing with 30, so we don't even have to worry about that there. Yeah. Does that make some